All right. Week 18 of the podcast, if you're doing it in podcast chronological order, and a very important week 18 it is because we are introducing ourselves into soccer season. And because we're doing soccer season, we brought as a guest today probably the biggest, best, most knowledgeable soccer mind in Northern Hemisphere. I don't know. Is that fair to say? Like, I don't know.
And the most connected soccer mind.
At least the most connected. At least the most connected. So, David Balyeat, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, no, so we're excited. If you didn't know, so he had me read all these books before we came in today, so full of knowledge. But we're kind of dovetailing it with the beginning of our season. And we've got some changes this year to our soccer league, I think for the better. So why don't you fill us in?
So yes, the last time we did soccer was spring 2023. And we did not do it this past spring. We had some updates to the field that have worked out really well. And so we have not done a fall sport in at least 6 years. Yeah. So this is before COVID. So, along with college football, now we get to experience soccer for the first time in the fall. So I'm excited. Todd and I are not... our professional careers have not included soccer at all.
No.
But I will tell you, my husband is a soccer fan. And so I have watched some soccer for sure. Yeah. And I've also just enjoyed getting to learn about soccer as well. So like you said, we have some changes, some exciting changes that we have this season. I spoke just a minute ago about fields. This year, we have added a small field to our campus. So this will be the field that 4 and 5 year olds where they practice and also where they play. And so we've got some pretty good turf out there. Well, not artificial turf, but some grass out there that we're excited about. This will enable us, just to have those babies on a single plot of land, if you will. Yeah. And it'll also make sure, that we provide the same, experience as far as soccer, with less lines on the field. Like when we painted lines 2 weeks ago, we painted 2 fields, in one spot. Well, in the spring of 2023, it was actually 3 fields, like 3 versions of lines, because of all location. In one location. And so we're excited about this. We're excited. We keep growing in our 4 and 5 year olds division, which is encouraging. And so we're excited about it.
Yeah. And another thing that we're changing up this year is, for as long as I've been a part of Upward or LC Sports, we've given out something at the end of the games to each kid on the team. Yeah. Some kind of incentive, whether that be an offensive award or defensive or effort or whatever it is. And so we're making a transition this year to where we're just giving it to one kid.
It's a big change.
Each game, one kid is going to get it. And the thought behind that being, if you get ice cream every day, which I'm not saying I do, I'm not saying I don't, but if you get ice cream every day, then at the end of the week, you've had ice cream to the point where maybe it doesn't mean as much anymore. But I remember on the first day of school, I would take my kids to get ice cream, and that's the only time they'd get it. And so it was a big deal, right? That's a memorable moment. Yeah. And so the thought is that if we're giving this award to that child that just shined that week, whether it be from a talent standpoint, an effort standpoint, whatever it is, that they get to sit there and listen to their coach talk about what a great job they did while all their friends sit and listen, and that just means so much more to them. Yeah. Now, this doesn't preclude the coaches from saying great things about all the other kids. Yeah. And that's the expectation for our coaches. For sure. But we really want to honor that one child a week. Yeah. We think that's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a big change. As we were talking about this on the front end of of planning for the season. Honestly, it came, with a little fear and trembling, if you will, from my standpoint, because we have awarded, those player affirmations in tangible ways, whether that have been a star or a dog tag for as long as I have been involved in youth sports. And honestly, probably to some degree, that may have been one aspect in which we were different from other leagues in town.
Yeah.
And so, my process of, continuing to, just, redefine how I see youth sports as I have a 5-year-old now.
Yeah.
I do think that it creates and it gives so much more value to that one kid who is getting the game ball, rather than, Jimmy gets the best effort dog tag and Susan, gets the best offense star and, Jimmy gets the best defense star. It means more. But, as we told our coaches in the coaches training, to your point, this by no means precludes you from praising the rest of your kids on your team and what you saw in them.
Right.
It just holds that one position at a higher value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And then we had one more change this year, didn't we?
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned early on when I thought about basketball and soccer and the differences in the two is that as far as concessions were concerned, there were more team moms that brought like their own snacks to the game than there was during basketball season.
Yeah.
So I thought, I wonder if that's something that we can be an asset for in regards to team moms. So we have the snack pack that's available for purchase this year. We tried it out a little bit with basketball. It did great. But now we're giving parents like, Balyeat, let's say that you're, the team dad for game one. You have the option to purchase a snack bag for every kid on your team. And we'll provide those. We'll pack them, we'll seal them up, and we'll make that, bucket of snack bags available for you and for your team on game day. And hopefully by doing that, it saves time, saves a little bit of money, but then you're also, providing that same product that most soccer fans provide for post-game snacks, which is the only reason why 4 and 5-year-olds are out there anyway, is for the post-game
Having
snacks.
been assigned one of the weeks when my kids were coming through and headed to the field and going, today was my day.
Yes.
It will be a great asset.
Yeah.
And that's why
parents.
I mean this with all sincerity to all the dads out there. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Because, having to stop off at Walmart and pick up Capri Suns and snacks 30 minutes before you're supposed to be there is not fun.
Capri Suns and oranges, right?
Yeah, Capri Suns and oranges.
Yeah.
That's right.
And those fruit roll-ups that are sticky. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we got you. We got you.
That's good.
Well, as we're starting soccer this week, actually today, if this podcast is released on a Tuesday, today will be our very first practice of the season.
Yeah.
And so we have 18 teams from ages 4 through 12 years old. They're coming out and they're playing soccer. And Balyeat, you're here just to kind of give us a trivia on probably what we don't know about soccer. So we thought it'd be fun to invite you on. And it's your job to try to stump us, make us look silly with all things soccer.
Yeah, of course.
So the purpose of this is just a fun game between Todd and I to see who knows the most about soccer.
Let me say before you even start talking, there's no such thing as a fun game between you and I because the competition
Very
grows.
competitive.
Yes.
Okay, so I brought some of my library, and then I've consulted the highest authority in the land, Wikipedia,
Nice.
for some of these answers and stuff. But
Can Google be used during this trivia?
if you have to, but I don't know. We don't have a timer or anything going, but we'll just be question, and then you can raise your hand or jump to the answer or whatever.
Okay.
But
Are there multiple choice questions?
there could be, but yeah.
Or true false?
Some of maybe. we'll see. Some of them are not that difficult unless you just totally, don't know.
Yeah.
But let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
So
Soccer. Soccer's the answer.
no.
The beginning
Cosmos.
is Jesus.
I know.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
See what I'm saying?
If he
Point for me.
he created
Point for me.
the game.
You said start
That
from the
the
beginning,
world-
and I started from the beginning. so
Okay,
that's a
but
point
not
for
that
me.
beginning, but the game's beginning.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The beginning of the game. Do you know what year and what country where the game was born?
I think I know the was it England?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
The year That would be a point for me. The year
1756. He looks at Todd.
I think he kind of laughed at you.
It's a little early, but
yeah.
Going.
This is why I would like multiple choice.
Okay, was it? What year did you say?
She said
1756.
Yeah.
Was it 1756?
Obviously not.
Was it 1800? Or was it? I'll give you 4. Was it?
I'm going to go with 1800.
Or you didn't even listen to all the options.
But I saw your eyes move, and so I think that 1800.
So was it 1850? Or just let's throw in 1848?
It's not 1848.
1848.
It's 1800.
1848.
I think that makes me 2.
Your eyes are deceiving. I tried to follow your eyes.
And because it was born in England, this has England won World Cups. We're looking at how many they've won.
Yeah.
Have they won 3 World Cups, 4 World Cups, or 1 World Cup?
I'm going to go with 3 World Cups.
Okay.
4 World Cups.
Both of you are wrong.
It was 1.
One.
Just 1.
Wow.
1.
So they started the game, and now they're horrible.
Yeah, it's like the Cowboys.
And so then from there, yes, and which is puzzling for this soccer guy. Of course, I'm an Argentine, raised there, and all that, born here in Texas, but always puzzling how the U.S. Soccer Federation is more connected to that game in England than it is to others that have been more successful.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there is a country that has won 5 World Cups. Was that France? Was that Germany? Was that Argentina? Or was that Brazil?
I'm going to go with Brazil.
I'm going to go with France.
It was Brazil.
Oh, my goodness. See, I'm a soccer guy.
You don't.
I'm going to leave some of my library with you, Katrina, so that you can catch up. Okay.
You're a good guesser.
So let's go to actually the field.
Okay.
What are the on the regulation size field? What are the half moon
corner kick? The corner kick side. No.
No. At the top of the box, at the top of the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
Number 1, what does that 18-yard box? Me too. What does what does that delineate? What does the 18-yard box on a regulation size field delineate?
Well, I've already answered.
That's where the goalkeeper can pick it. Yes,
that's good.
Okay.
Now
you can't wait for me to answer.
So what is the half moon from that? Okay, from that 18-yard box. What is that half moon that comes out for?
The defense cannot. No, that's not it. The half moon. Is that the offsides area?
No.
Is it? I really don't know.
Okay, so the reason why it's there is because it helps delineate 10 yards from the penalty kick spot.
Okay.
Nobody but the kicker at the spot everybody has to be 10 yards away.
Oh, you're just talking about just
the half moon.
So it doesn't connect to any other line. It
connects to the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
So it's right here.
Oh, got it.
Keeping in the dot for the penalty kick shot.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
So that's that.
Okay.
How much of the ball has to how much? This is not
all of it. All of it has to cross.
He didn't finish his question. Let him finish.
So when is it out of bounds?
When the ball crosses the line completely.
So how much of the ball can be showing on the line and to keep it in bounds?
Like if it's inbounds, just a little
Any
bit.
piece.
That's right. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a very complicated thing.
Yeah.
Can the player be out of bounds and the ball in bounds?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
That's very
I got
different
other
from,
question first.
from your sport of basketball.
It is. It's very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can go completely out of bounds and kick the ball and it still be good.
Yeah.
As long as the ball's in bounds.
Right.
Yes, that's good. How many players?
11.
Well, that wasn't necessarily going to be the question.
Okay, what was the question?
No, it's okay. Keep going.
So I'm going to ask a world question.
Okay. All right.
FIFA is the governing body of soccer.
Yeah.
the question has to do with how many nations are affiliated with with FIFA.
Okay.
Versus, we'll contrast that with how many are. So there's two questions: how many nations are affiliated with the United Nations? Obviously, they have two different objectives.
Yeah.
But the value of sport is what this will show us.
Okay.
So, are there 200 nations affiliated with FIFA? Are there 198? Are there 213? Or are there 211?
198.
I'm going to go with 211.
She's correct.
Oh.
It's 211.
Yes.
And contrast that with the amount of nations affiliated with the UN. Is it 200? Is it 198?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it 210?
198.
210.
198.
So the point being
that there are more countries wanting to know how to win a World Cup than there are interested in maintaining the unity of nations.
wow.
Yeah.
That is so significant.
Yeah.
So the value of the game and how it unifies.
Wow.
Just some trivia.
So do you want to call out those dozen or so nations that aren't interested in world peace?
No, I don't. But I do want to say some of the trivia that, rather than question, just to add it to this this time, is that the game. I'm sure this is true to other sports as well, but the game has been used to stop a war.
Yeah.
And so there's more interest in how a game could be. Two countries could send their teams in to play. A movie that was. Sylvester Stallone starred in it. Maybe you remember that. That could be a trivia question. The name of it is
Rocky.
No, that's boxing.
Oh, okay.
I'm so ashamed.
And the name of the movie is Victory.
Victory.
It had to do with the
know it.
Second World
I knew
War.
it.
Second World War, and the prisoners put together a team and played against the Nazi team.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but it's just another demonstration of how the game. Of course, that was fiction, but. There are times when the game has been used to bring people together.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we park right there for a
Sure.
second? Because your work with No More Violence, like that's kind of the center of why you do what you do with No More Violence. Would you tell us about No More Violence and the work that you've done in many countries in regards to soccer?
Sure. The idea, the unfortunate thing is that the game has evolved into, so it's because it's so powerful and there's so many nations involved, there's so much strength behind the political scene. The game is tied to, well, you think about great stars, the people that supply the money, the business and all the contracts they get. And there's this dark element that has come into the game. And so you have there's the occult that's involved, and there's gangs involved. And so depending on the team, like Naples, the team there where Maradona went and became a god when they won after that was their first title ever. The violence exists, one, because there's so much corruption. There's alcohol, of course, drugs. There's gang relations. In some of the places, that is so difficult that the rivalry between the teams is so strong. Kind of like what we in America would remember as the Hatfields and the McCoys. And the history of violence, and so nobody forgives everybody. Nobody forgets, and so we just continue to build this mountain of anger and unforgiveness, and so. And the stakes become high because there's been a loss of life. And the story that I always tell about Argentina, the two teams there are Boca Juniors and River Plate. And that rivalry is historically very bloody in some instances. And in one game, I believe it was River Plate won 2-0. And they went out and spray painted the walls in Buenos Aires and said River 2, Boca 0. Well, Boca fans, their gangs went out and killed 2 River fans. And spray painted said River 2, Boca 2. And so I always say I was so glad they didn't want to win the game, or otherwise their life would have been lost.
Right.
Yeah.
But so So being able to work towards peace is to help go back to the basic elements is what y'all are doing with the soccer league is this is about having fun. This is about enjoying the game and learning new skills to implement in the game.
Yeah.
And so helping the children be fit and being able to exercise those, the scoring, the passing, the team involvement and creating a team to accomplish an objective and between coaches and players being able to keep that part of the sport clean instead of it being a place where people are confronted and I mean in basketball league and soccer leagues anywhere the competition drives up the temperaments and temperaments drive up perhaps insults or pushing or shoving in such a fouls or whatever. And so that's why the ref plays an important role because he has to help control some of that. But in the stands, it's important for parents to keep it low and keep the main thing, which is my child is only 5, so I don't need to, and they're not going to win a World Cup. They don't have a multi-million-dollar contract on the table. Yeah. So that'll come a decade later, maybe. So keeping that down and keeping the main value of the sport and where it needs to be. So no more violence speaks to that a lot, and trying to talk about the character of the individual, the identity of the individual, and self-esteem is a big issue too. So we deal with those things.
Along those lines, this is a trivia question for you.
Okay.
What is the most dangerous country to play in for a visiting team, in your opinion?
Oh,
or region.
There's been the African nations, or some of them get pretty violent.
Yeah.
Brazil, I know there's some violent stories there.
Okay.
It depends on how serious the rivalry is.
Okay.
Brazil, anytime an Argentine team plays in Brazil, just recently there was, and the police got involved, and they really mistreat. This is obviously depending on who tells the story.
Yeah.
There might be some more story behind it.
Right.
But it depends on the fan base and how aggressive the gang that travels with the team fans. Because there's gangs generally associated with all of them.
Wow.
And so it depends on the history they have between them.
So if someone wanted to be more involved in the No Mas Violencia, way of life, because to me it's like a way of life. Like you really have to commit yourself to something like this. How do they get involved in that?
Well, they can contact me. They can write an email to david@nmvglobal.org, and I'd be glad to talk to them and be able to share with them the principles behind it.
Yeah.
And we don't just work in sports. Obviously, we teach through group dynamics on like I said, identity and self-esteem, those issues that hound our youth and young people, and even adults. And so we can work through some of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balyeat, to your knowledge, is there another sport like soccer that lends itself to violence and what we've talked about?
Yeah, I think any sport. I think college football is one that where we find some aggression. I don't think that the chips are that high. Understand that what happens in some other cultures, in Argentina, I'll speak about that. I lived there many years, but there's not more happiness in society. There's not more. You can't find so much more something that gives you so much joy, if you will, than winning a game in Argentina. The 3 greatest joys were the 3 World Cups Argentina's won. They didn't get that through any other means. They don't have that through their history. They don't have that through another sport. That's the main one. And so in America, what we find is our very competitive, like pro sports now in general, there's not this affiliation by a player to stay in that one team. So that has diluted the competition because now it's all about winning a title.
Right.
And so, but in college sports, there still is that desire. So you have the game, the team rivalry, and so that can get out of hand, and we see that some. High school football can be that way.
Right.
We've seen incidences in there.
Yeah.
But But I don't think there's the criminal element behind that here.
Right.
In other countries, you do have a criminal element behind it that even affects political campaigns. There was an instance in Argentina where the fans spent most of the game yelling about, chanting about a politician who had done something during the week before. And so when that happens, society in itself is expressing their opposition. And so then that causes wrinkles and all kinds of hiccups in the people's lives.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of power, is my point.
Well, so then what is behind the, despite what my partner says here about apparently George Washington in 1776 was playing soccer.
He's a good guy.
No, we don't know that.
We don't know for a fact.
We just don't have documentation.
But what is it? I mean, relatively, it's a fairly young sport, so why is it global the way that it is? How did it go completely global?
Well, number one, England, where it was born. Remember the phrase that the sun doesn't set on the British Empire.
Right.
So ships exported the game. Sailors did. They'd start teams in the ports and where they had reach. And so I think that is part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the teams in Argentina, you'd be surprised, have a English name, like Newell's Old Boys is one of the teams in Argentina.
That's not the first name I would pick for an Argentina.
River Plate.
So
true. One of their big teams. And so that happens the world all over. So, but I think that's one of the reasons. And the second reason is probably important, which doesn't happen in the United States. It is a poor man's sport. You have one ball, two goals, and 22 people play, or more, depending on how you want to set up what's going on. And so in my recent trip to Africa, I gave away some brand new balls to some kids that were playing with a small ball that they put together with some bamboo and stuff. And when I went to see them after that, they were playing with their ball, not the one I gave them.
Oh, really?
So they are used to that one. And, maybe the one I gave them bounced too much or something. But my point is in school, we would in grade school, we would get socks, we would get paper and wad it up and then put tape all around it, and that was our soccer ball during recess. And so the passion for the game is huge. In no pro stadium, soccer stadium, do you have a loudspeaker and a guy playing the organ and say cheer or defense. That doesn't exist. That comes naturally out of the fan.
I love that.
And so the passion behind the game, and again, that goes back to the celebration. We want to be able to have something to celebrate. And the game is what will offer that.
That's why, as much as I don't know about the sport of soccer, I can 100% say I appreciate the passion behind the people that follow the game. I mean, it's unrivaled. It really is.
Well, I looked it up on the great authority
on Wikipedia,
and it was over 1.5 billion people that watched the last World Cup final in 2022. It's just a tremendous following.
That floors me that England has only won one. That I cannot believe that.
Even that one was a question.
When was that? Do you know the
66.
year? Wow.
1966. And even that was a questionable win because if you look it up, you can watch on YouTube. It was a 1-0 game, and they just the ball. There's no assurance that the ball actually crossed the line.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So as we talked about it going out of bounds, the whole ball has to go in. There's no assurance that they actually won on that goal.
Wow.
So actually, I think it ended 2-0. But back to a trivia question.
Okay. Ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. What? In what year did the U.S. beat England 1-0? What World Cup? Was it 1966? Was it 1978? Was it 1934 or 1950?
The 1978 is what you said? I'm going to go with that one.
34.
It was 1950.
Oh.
Wow.
Way back then, believe it or not, the United States had a team that beat England the mother of the sport.
Whoa.
Wow.
That was a big day, probably.
It was a huge day.
Yeah.
It was the biggest upset in the world. Maybe World Cup history, but certainly in that World Cup.
So, Balyeat, when was the first World Cup?
1934.
1934.
And Uruguay won that one.
Okay.
Wow.
So how many has the U.S. won?
None. They have not made it to a final.
Ever.
In men's national.
Right.
But the women, how many
the
of the
women
women?
have won three, I
Three.
think.
Yeah.
think
This
that's
is my jersey that I have.
There you go. You got the stars. That's
Yep.
right. You got the three
Yep.
stars.
Oh, that's right. There you go.
So that's a good question for
I didn't
me
know
to
what the
answer.
stars
It's
stood
like,
for, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't know the stars meant three.
Yeah.
Now you know.
World Cup.
Now you can talk intelligently
now
about
I
your
can-
shirt.
Yeah, now I know. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
That's good. How many World Cups has the United States hosted?
Ooh.
2.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say 2, so I'll say 3.
So we've already hosted one, 1994.
Uh-huh.
If this judge would allow 2 to be the correct answer, it would only be because we're going to host the 2026.
Oh,
So
okay.
not
But
yet.
doesn't count.
Not yet. It doesn't
So,
count.
yeah.
It doesn't count.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, just one. And that was a big, huge deal for the United States.
I
to be
remember
able to do
that. Yeah, I remember that.
In fact, Tom Landry for the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah.
he was a big proponent, and I was there when they announced the in Dallas, and
Yeah.
got to shake Tom Landry's hand. That was kind of fun.
And a lot of people don't know you scored like 4 goals in that World Cup.
Oh no, I didn't. Goodness, who did I play for? In my backyard, we called it a World Cup. Yes, no, that's good. No, I'm excited for what Lake Church is able to do. What the LC's doing,
Yeah.
and I know that. I'm interested to see how many different, and you probably know this because you have so many registered already, the different, even just looking at last names, the different nationalities that
Yes.
kids will be
Yes.
from. And
Yeah.
because they're very proud to represent their nation.
Yeah.
And we've had some of that already when we've had soccer. And so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when I guess it was in 2018 or 2019 when we decided to do our last season of flag football and transition to soccer. I did not expect we did that based on a decision that numbers were continuing to decrease in flag football, and so transitioning to soccer, I never anticipated that very first year we would have more in that soccer league than we did in the last year of flag football, like instantly. Wow. And so that just speaks to the popularity and the growth of soccer just, in the U.S. And so to your point, we have several nations represented for our league, for the youth league. And, soccer is different in that, it brings in a whole different community of people than basketball does,
Right.
which is great.
Sure.
I mean, there's some overlap to some extent,
Yeah.
but not that much.
Yeah.
And so that just speaks to the popularity of soccer and how much it's grown.
Yeah.
No, it's a big deal. And of course, when you have a superstar like Messi, it never hurts to
Yeah.
to everybody, whether they know the game or not. Messi. So he's become
For sure.
So
a well-known name all over the world.
let me ask you,
Yeah.
who's your favorite soccer player of all time?
I'm going to go with Mia Hamm because she graduated from the University of North Carolina. And
she really?
played on a World Cup team.
Yes, she
Yeah.
did. She's an
And
amazing
won.
player. Yes,
And won.
amazing player.
Mia
Yeah.
Hamm. Yep.
Wow.
What about you?
I was going to say Mia Hamm.
Whatever
but
you.
So my son is a huge soccer fan, right?
Cole.
Cole.
Yeah.
And this past year he asked for a Mbappe jersey, so I had to get him an Mbappe jersey. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Who does he play for?
He's French, but I won't bore you with the details.
So he plays for France?
Yeah.
He did play
Okay.
for France.
Yeah.
And so it was Messi and Mbappe were the two stars battling at the final, World Cup final.
Oh, okay.
France,
Yeah.
and Argentina.
And just for the point to get over you, also Ronaldo. I'm a big Ronaldo fan.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Which Ronaldo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's Cristiano Ronaldo, there's Ronaldinho, and then there's Ronaldo, the Brazilian other player that is.
Yeah.
The first guy.
Ronaldo.
Christian.
Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah.
That's it. That's who he's talking about.
That's who I was talking about.
You didn't know that. You didn't know that. I knew that.
What country is Cristiano Ronaldo from?
Brazil.
No.
That sounded confident, though.
Good job.
Would you know where Cristiano Ronaldo was born?
I'm going to go with Ronaldo. I'm going to go with Spain.
I'll give you a trivia or multiple choice.
Okay.
All right. This is the last one. Okay.
Yeah. Was it Spain?
Obviously not.
Hey, I may be tricking you.
Yeah.
Was it Spain?
Nope.
Was it Germany? Was
Ronaldo. No, not Germany.
His parents may have moved. You never know. Was it Honduras or was it
Honduras?
Portugal?
Honduras.
Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to say Honduras, too.
Portugal.
Oh, man.
Come on. All right.
We are terrible at this.
Well, if you won, Todd, you only won by hair. So
I'm pretty sure I did.
I can pretty much say congratulations.
You guys are good.
Yeah.
I think we'll catch up on some reading.
Yes, I've got more reading to do.
Yeah.
Some light reading.
Don't ever forget you have your phone in your hand. Wikipedia. Is really helpful.
That's right.
Google is really good also.
For sure.
I will say as we close, man, I can't say thank you enough. Not only for being an ambassador to the game, but to be an ambassador for what we stand for, and your faith, and just the kind of integrity and the person you are. It's so nice to have someone like you in our corner.
Oh,
really?
I believe in what you're doing. I think it's great. I think kids will be better for this. Parents will be better for this.
Yeah.
And having some grandchildren that are playing in their different cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place to learn a lot of values for future life. So
it is. And he's been on twice now on our podcast. There will be a third, trust me.
Yeah.
I've asked him to adopt me like 5 times. I'm getting there. We're going to do it live on podcast at some point. But yeah, great man.
Yep. Thanks, Balyeat.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Always.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, so that'll wrap us up for week 18. 18?
18 it is.
18.
18 it is.
So next week we'll be back with another great guest, and we'll continue on with our soccer season. So until then, have a great day, guys.
Bye, guys.